All right, turn it this way so I can see it too. All right, what this is about is more clients, more calls, and more revenue. This is about making money for your business digitally and what's important. Let's talk about this. 93% of all calls and clicks come from the top 3 results in Google. If you're not in those top 3, you ain't getting that call, you're not getting that click. That is all that matters. And Google and that ranking is what's gonna drive your business and your revenue. So how do you get there? You have a strong Google business profile. What does that mean? That's the listing when someone Googles you and having all that information. That information needs to be up to date. It needs to have your hours of operations, your address, your location, real legitimate photos of your business. Not AI photos, not just random photos, but real photos of your business. You need to pre-fill in information for a Q&A section with common questions, and you gotta post on this weekly. We're gonna cover more of that in a minute. The next part is content and profiles. Again, some of those photos you may know, some of them you may not, but it's really important to have a presence on Facebook and on X and on TikTok, and what your strategy is on all of these platforms, including things like Reddit and Yelp. And then finally, Google reviews and optimizing your website. Google reviews is the #1 way that you rank on Google. We talked a little bit about it this morning when we talked about Simply Bail, but this is the reality. You've got to get them by any means necessary. And you've got to optimize your website so that it's fast and it's local keyword search and it's optimized for these search features. We're going to walk through these quickly. The first one is Google reviews matter the most. If you take away anything from today, that's what it is. And here's what you need to focus on specifically. Google reviews, they mean trust. It means that people use your business, that you provided the service well for them, and that you are real and legitimate. That is something that Google holds at the highest possible level. So Google's algorithm treats those reviews volume as recency as primary local ranking signals. What does this mean? If you've got 3 5-star reviews, you're gonna lose to a guy that's got 54.7 reviews. More reviews matter. Let's talk about a few other things that are gonna help. You gotta automate those. You saw how we did it in Simply Bail this morning. If you use this, that's great, and I hope you do. But if you don't, you have to figure out how to make this a part of your every client experience. Incentivizing your staff, incentivizing your clients. Hey, I'll give you $5 off your bond if you write a Google review for me right now that's a good one. Saying to your staff, look, I waited tables and bartended all through college and law school. One of the things we used to do is, we got a special of fish tonight, we're gonna run a contest. Whoever can sell the most specials, you get a $25 Starbucks gift card or whatever it is. Figure out a way to incentivize your staff. Hey, whoever gets the most Google reviews this month, you get a free night stay at a local hotel or a casino or something like that. You get a nice meal out at Ruth Chris. You've got to figure out a way to get these Google reviews because they matter more than anything. The next thing is you need to reply to every one of them. Every single one, and not a canned response. You go in there and reply with something that's earnest. If they've left you a negative review, that's okay. Respond back with, I'm sorry that you had that experience. We really take this to heart, and we're gonna work better to make this a better experience for people in the future. That matters, and Google looks at that with their algorithm. It's not just coming from the heart, it matters as it relates to performance. All right, on the right, you can see Free at Last Bail Bonds is somebody we work with in Atlanta. Look at those Google reviews, look at those stars. There is no question as to that's why when you search bail bond agents in Atlanta, they're coming up first. It is that simple, but you have to start thinking about how to put this in your everyday activity with your clients. The next thing, backlinks. When there are links to your website and links from your website other places, that matters to Google in your rankings. Here you can see when a bond agent's using us, we put a button on their website, and you can call it whatever you want. This guy at GA Bail Bonding calls it Pay for Bond Online. When they click it, it launches into a particular window for them to use Simply Bail. And then you can see it kicks it back from the other link. What does that mean? Well, every single case over there with the pink on the left is a case that originated from his own website. That's traffic that's building through his website. That search engine optimization, SEO, is valuable to Google. That makes you rank higher too. You can see that for this agent, by doing this, his case volume went up 20% after 6 months of doing this. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. It's got to become part of what you're building on the marketing side. Let's talk about social media and building trust before they need you, right? There are things that work on social media. We're all on it all day long. Some of the highest level trending pieces are human interest stories, right? You think of that single mom who was wrongly arrested, and you guys helped her get back to her life, back to her job, back to her family in those areas. You talk about the fact that there's a bond agency we work with out in California, ABBA Bail Bonds. On Mother's Day, they go down to the jail and bail out every single mom who is arrested for a non-violent crime. Think about that. And think about the social media aspects of that and what you can do with that content out there socially. You guys do incredible things in this community. You are involved with kids. I know bond agents that are out there driving Toys for Tots drives, doing things for Thanksgiving, helping the homeless, helping people get jobs. They are out there working with their clients. You think about client success stories. A guy you bail out that you help put through barber college, and he opens up a barbershop, and now he is giving haircuts and cleanups to guys who are going in for interviews that had previously been arrested. Bond agents are involved in this in so many different ways. It's about telling those stories and making that part of who your brand is on these social media platforms specifically. And you don't need to be daunted by this. This isn't, oh my God, I got to create 30 stories and do these things, right? You can create one piece of content and just chop it up. Put it on Facebook, put it on TikTok, put it on Instagram. It's the same piece of content. You can do this, and we're going to walk through how you do this, but this is critically important to your brand and building that trust, right? Because part of this is building the sense of who you are and that continuity in the community, so that when somebody gets arrested, in the back of their mind, they know who you are and who your brand is, and they're going to call you first. They're going to remember you, they're going to Google you, and that yields more calls, more clicks, more clients, more revenue. The next thing just quickly is AI optimization. Guys, people are starting to use ChatGPT, Claude, and other things for search. It's looking at a lot of the same things that Google does, but slightly different. Yes, Google reviews, big deal. Reddit, for anybody that's been on Reddit, this is essentially a blog-style ecosystem where people ask questions. AI pulls an incredible amount of data from Reddit. So thinking about how you can talk about your business and bail bonds on Reddit would be really smart to help rank when someone is looking for a bond agent via AI in your area. The next thing is specifically, you want to write in a Q&A format. That's something that AI pulls from a lot when you're becoming an authority. Who is doing content right? This is a really good case study from A Second Chance. They're doing some really cool stuff. The first thing is they've got a radio show and a podcast that ranks, and they are talking to judges, they're talking to police officers, they're talking to DAs, they're talking to criminal defense attorneys, to guys they've bailed out of jail, to local Atlanta celebrities. And they're talking about criminal justice, and they're keeping their brand in the ecosystem. It's a way for them to showcase they are the experts. There's a reason why they are likely the largest bail bond agency in the Southeast. This is part of their strategy, and not everybody's going to do all of this. I'm just showing you who's really doing this right. The next thing is their strategy on TikTok and Instagram. These are short human interest clips. Clients who turn their lives around, myth busting, things that are fun behind the scenes. And let's see if we can get this to play really quickly. Hang on. Oh, come on. All right, there we go. All right, let's see if the audio works here.
No. Nope. Is it a good idea for me to bail my ex out of jail? The answer to That is exclusively no. It is not a good idea. I would caution against that. It's not lost on me that there are people that have exes that they stay close with and they're just better friends than they were, you know, romantic, but it comes with risks. The risk to the cosigner is defendant doesn't want to be with you anymore or doesn't want to communicate with you anymore, and now you're financially responsible for this bond for somebody that you don't even really have an association with anymore. You know, you can't just call up to the bonding company and say, hey, I'm not with them anymore, or we don't talk anymore, I need to be off this bond. That's not the way that goes. On the defendant side of things, you know, for you, the risk would be that it's kind of a leverage point that people use. It's not supposed to be weaponized in that way. Sometimes we do see a cosigner say, hey, look, you know, if you don't want to, you know, go on this date with me, or you don't want to go on this vacation with me, then, you know, I'm going to revoke your bond and put you back in jail. And to be clear, we are not the Maury Povich show. This is not Jerry Springer. I am not interested in sifting through your love life. Don't put us in that position, but more importantly, don't put yourself in that position. Find somebody else, get a relative or somebody you trust that isn't going to dangle this carrot in front of you the entire time you're out on bail. Should you bail your ex out of jail?
All right, here's another one that I think is really fun. This is called bond or bail or no bail.
Where bail bonds me?
Bail or no bail? Your girl got caught stealing out of South Lake Mall. Bail or no bail?
What, she gave me something?
No.
Get it.
Your girl was arrested at the motel.
No.
Your son was arrested for DUI. Bail or no bail?
Bail. Get him out of there.
Your son stole your 86 Buick Regal.
I mean, again, it's cute, right? Bail or no bail and playing that game. That's great content for TikTok. And again, these guys have an incredible following. They have almost 27,000 followers on just TikTok alone. All right, the next thing is Facebook community and understanding how the Facebook community really works for this, right? It's heavy community engagement, local events, stories, and educational posts. That's what you're going to put on Facebook. This is more about what you're doing in the community as a partner. It's an older audience, but they are generally searching for things in a different way, and thinking about your strategy there is key. The next piece of this is, what else are they doing? Well, they've got a celebrity series with Dog the Bounty Hunter. They brought him back, and I could show you some of the hilarious videos that he is now involved in. But these videos are getting hundreds of thousands of views. And they're thinking about, how do you tap into these celebrities by doing this? Another aspect that they do really well that all of you can do is utilizing LinkedIn to reach out to attorneys, right? Some of the best leads that are out there come from attorneys. They're secured. If you're paying 20 grand for your attorney, you showing up for court. So using LinkedIn to connect with criminal defense attorneys, district attorneys, make those relationships, post content to them, share things about what you're doing in the community, that matters. They're going to keep you top of mind, and that helps you get some of the top leads that are out there, and utilizing LinkedIn for that is critical. But the bottom line is that key piece. Every piece of content serves the community first, and the phone calls follow naturally. They've created a brand where it equals trust and compassion, expertise in the community. The community knows what they're doing as a second chance, and they are referring people to these bond agents when they need them. It's really smart, and they do a great job of it. The next piece of this quickly is a CRM. That stands for Customer Relationship Manager. How are you managing your customers, and what are you doing with them, both during the bond, but especially outside of the bond, to keep you top of mind, so that when they get rearrested, they call you, or they tell their family and friends when they get arrested to call you, right? So you can see on the left, having text messages that go out to people to remind them of court dates, and being thoughtful about how you present it is great. That's a touch point during the bond. But you also have other things. Think about email and SMS retargeting. You got your birth dates of your defendants. You got the birth dates of the co-signers. Why are you not using a CRM to automatically send them birthday wishes and happy holiday wishes? Keeping that touch point. It's not hard, and it happens automatically, and it's not that expensive to do and manage. This is something you guys can do for all of this and set it up. The next thing is, I mean, that's the kind of fire I'm looking for. Let's go. The next thing about this is a two-way communication, right? One of the things we're building, and it's interesting, a bond agent came to me and said, look, I got clients I bond out all the time. It'd be awesome if in your app, they could press a panic button when they're getting arrested, and it sent me their location and all their information and who their co-signers were to call that they'd stored in there, and it even dialed their phone and put it on speaker so I could talk to the guy while he's getting arrested. Think about another great way to stay in contact with your clients and having that. And then also using LinkedIn, like I said, and email sources to send notes to attorneys and to market your business to attorneys in other ways, right? But this is all about how you interact with your clients, right? If a guy needs a job, sending out monthly e-blasts of, hey, this is where you can go get a job. Here are the places that are hiring. Here are community resources that are out there for you guys. This is something you can do that really sets you apart and makes it so that you can acquire more customers. The next thing really quickly is paid advertising. Y'all may or may not know this. There are lots of places that you are prohibited from advertising. Google, Facebook and Meta and Insta and TikTok, they don't allow bail bond agents to advertise in keyword search or any other way. It's against their rules and regulations and they're going to take you down. Here are some good options. Microsoft Bing and Yahoo search ads. It's a little bit of an older crowd, but they allow it. CPC stands for cost per click. They charge around 10 to 25 bucks to deliver somebody through to your website from these ads, right? That's what they charge. Yelp ads, great alternative. A lot of people that are on Yelp are searching for a specific service. That's a good one that I would look at. But the bottom line for this is if you want to do this and show results, it's going to be $3,500 to $8,000 a month to do this, and you're going to have to do it for 6 months to build that. And your average CPC, your cost per click, is 10 to 40 bucks. Here's the takeaway for all of this. This is your 90-day action plan, and let's go through it. This is what I would do if I were starting out right now to gain a foothold and do this. You're welcome to take a photo of this as we go. The first 30 days, you should claim and fully optimize your Google business profile. If you don't have one, the moment you walk out of here, you contact Google and you get one. Believe it or not, they're going to mail you a card that has a code on it, and you have to put that code into your Google business listing in order to claim it. That's how it works. You've got to get that. You got to get it going, get it complete, and optimize it. Upload real photos to Google, Yelp, and your website. And you got to forcibly get your first 10 Google reviews by any means necessary. Get them. Get those Google reviews to start to build that. And you got to start collecting emails and client phone numbers and how they found you. Every conversation you have with the client is, how'd you find me? Because that's how you know it's working. Oh, you Googled me. Oh, you got me at the top of the sheet in the jail. It doesn't matter. You need to know how they found you, and you need to start tracking that specifically in a CRM, right? Whether that's with us or somebody else. For retargeting, day 31 through 60, you got to write 2 local SEO blog posts in a Q&A format. You heard Eric talk about that a little bit before, but you write a blog and you put it up on your website and you make sure it's optimized for SEO. It really is not that hard. You can Google an article or even ask ChatGPT to help you. But you got to do 2 in that window. You launch Facebook pages and you post 3 posts a week. And then if you want to start activating paid ads, you can do that in that second window after you've got the other stuff set up. And I would challenge you to set up a 3 email sequence for your CRM. Hey, happy birthday email that goes out. Hey, Merry Christmas email that goes out. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, whatever. Create 3 sequent emails in that 31 to 60 day period, and it's going to return value for you and money. And then in days 61 through 90, add some Yelp ads once you've got an organic profile that has 20 plus Google reviews, right? Build 5 local directory citations. That's getting some stuff on Yelp, the Better Business Bureau, the Yellow Pages. Create your first TikTok and Instagram reel. And like I said, focus on a human interest story. Focus on the good stuff you're doing with your clients. You don't have to invent it. You don't have to think that hard about it. It's the stuff you're already doing. Just grab your phone and shoot a 60-second video about it and post it on Instagram and TikTok and see how it does. And then join Reddit and start to try to answer some questions for people that are asking questions about bail bond agents in your area. That matters because it also drives AI search. But this is exactly what I would do the moment I walked out of here for the next 90 days. It will, without question, drive more clicks and views to your website. It will result in more calls, and it's going to result in more revenue too. This stuff matters, and learning how to do this is critical. So that's really everything I just wanted to share with you guys as it relates to marketing. Are there any questions anybody wants to ask about this? Yeah, please. It's usually both. She's asking, it wasn't always the card. Usually, sometimes they'll mail you the card as well as require you to take a video of the outside of your building to prove that it's real. So it's a joint thing, but I'm happy to talk with you afterwards. Yeah. So the other thing to know is that for anybody that uses Simply Bail, one of the things we do is once a month, we offer a free marketing class. We don't market for people. We don't take money to do that. We've got so many bond agents in the same location, and that's phenomenal. It's just not fair for us to do that for somebody and not others, but we're happy to answer questions. We're happy to talk about strategy for things that you can do. And if you guys are looking for referrals for people to hire to help you with this, there are definitely parties that we can refer you to do that, but we don't do that because we don't think it's fair. And with our background, we sort of want to keep it that way. But these are definitely things, all of the parts that you should do to help drive revenue for you. Because here's the thing, if you're not doing it, your competitors are. They are doing this. They are using this to drive more revenue away from you. So you've got to start doing this and building these plans. All right. That's it. That's all I got.